4 years and 3 days ago was the day that we finally picked up our first batch of chickens. Little did I know they would become extremely important over the course of the next 4 years. Now, during the duration of those 4 years, we've definitely formed a ton of opinions, connections, and other similar things for chickens. So in this video, I'm going to be providing you an honest and open review about chickens. We're going to go through everything. This is literally just going to be an honest review. I know I did a video similar to this, but this is just going to be way more in depth. So grab your favorite food, favorite drink, whatever, and let's go. Okay, so roosters are quite a hard one to start out with, but I'll give you all the insights you need to know. Well, for starters, not all of them are really annoying, but a lot of them are. I'd say you have about maybe 70% of them are just they're just okay. They do their job. They're not terribly aggressive. The other 30% though are extremely aggressive. I'd say it's more like 60-40, but it was an okay comparison, I'll say. So for the reason why I gave that, because most roosters, like my rooster Waldo, wasn't ever too serious, but when it came down to protecting his flock, he was really serious. He took that job as seriously as you would want a rooster to take the job. But the only issue with these types of roosters is that sometimes they just don't care about their job, like Falcon. Only issue is Falcon's on that 30%. Those 30% of those roosters can sometimes be really helpful because they will help defend that flock against anything. Only issue is when you get a rooster that happens to be named Falcon and has a Dorito feather tone, then you're probably going to have some issues because he is going to do absolutely nothing. He runs and hides whenever there's a predator nearby, not going out to help his chicken. Now, hens are the female chickens. Those are the ones that'll be laying you all those eggs, giving you all the good stuff. And if you don't have a rooster, they'll be treating you like you're their rooster if you're good enough around them. If you're not, then they will not like you, trust me. And I'll say one thing about them though. It depends on which breed it is. So don't expect you to get a random chicken and expect them to automatically be laying 600 eggs per year, because that's an unrealistic goal. I gotta say, there's tons of people that set unrealistic goals for their hens. On average, I'd say around 190 to 240 eggs a year is where most hens end up falling in that range. Some of them do lay more eggs, but there is a cost for laying more eggs, and that's their life expectancy. You see a chicken that lays an average 190 to 240 eggs a year will probably live, I'd say, around 6 to 12 years. 12 is pushing it, but I'd say more like 6 to 9, 6 to 10 years old. If you have a chicken that lays a lot more eggs, 240 to 330, then you'll probably have a chicken that lives more 3 to 6 years old. Living past 6 with that type of prolific egg laying stuff, it would be nearly impossible due to the high stress environment. So think about it before you end up diving into this sort of stuff here, because you need to find a chicken that lays a lot of eggs but also lives for a long time so you get the most out of it. Another thing to remember about hens is that they do not lay as many eggs as they do progressively. During those first 3 years, they will be laying you consistent eggs, maybe even 4 years. For the first 3 to 4 years, they'll be laying you tons of eggs, but then after that point, their egg count just falls down below the ground. So they could be going from 250 eggs a year all the way down to laying 145 to 165 eggs a year. It's okay, gotta remember that. Hens will be doing that sort of stuff because it's natural for them. They're egg making system. I'm not gonna actually name it because this is not gonna be an age restricted video. But that system will eventually begin to shut down, and this is where tons of diseases will end up coming into the picture as they proceed to age a little bit. So just remember, not all these will happen at once, but I'd recommend giving a little bit of time, so do not put too much stress on them. So the next thing that we then have is going to be talking about taming hens. Now, believe it or not, this is actually way more simple than it actually appears to be. I know this is a review, but I'm going to review how to tame hens and the simple strategy that you could use to tame them in just a couple weeks. Believe me, this strategy works on every single chicken. You could probably go out to your 6-year-old chickens right now that don't care about you one bit and convert them into chickens that do give two craps about you. So here is the strategy. So, preferably on younger chickens, but you can do this on any chicken. We're going to start off with a chicken that's just about ready to lay eggs, probably off by 3 or 4-ish weeks usually. But you can do this at any age, of course. When they're usually outside, what you want to do is you want to go into your kitchen and you want to go chef up the most beautiful, not beautiful, you just want to get some treats, just get some treats, go to the kitchen, go put some like kitchen scraps. Like I'd recommend some salad, some grains, like bread, and also some other treats like worms. They love that stuff. And the next thing I want you to go do is I want you to then go outside. Yeah, I know it's hard. That's the hardest step. But like you want to go outside and you want to go and find your chickens, which you should be able to find them. And then once you've located the chickens you want to tame, what you want to do is you want to progressively give them this, I'd say once a day, for the next 3 weeks. Doing it every day sounds really difficult, but this takes like 6 minutes of your time at most. For me, I could do this in like 2.5 minutes. But then I want you to just sit in the yard and observe them. Like, see if a chicken comes over to you, and if they offer you to pet them, then pet them, man. You gotta give them some respect. Show them that you are worth having in their life. That's the biggest thing to taming your chicken, is showing your worth. You need to show your chickens that you're actually worth it, and not someone that's about to turn them into a 10-piece chicken McNugget in the next 6 weeks. Now for the last and final part of this video, I'm going to be ranking chickens. We're going to rank all 3 of these on a scale of 1 to 10. And don't be surprised if you're clicking in the background, because this video is unscripted and I don't even have data on me right now. So let's go do this really quickly. I got my calculator out. So for the first one, what we're going to do for the roosters, we're going to rate them a total out of, let's see, we'll give it out of 25. Yeah, 25. So I'll give roosters a 19 out of 25, right? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give hens, because they're hens, you know, they're like, they have a bit more easy ability to tame. There's a lot more potential. Roosters just make sound, and while you're outside at 5 a.m. waiting to be transported to school, for me personally, but like for like work, sometimes like you're leaving in your car and he can crow louder than like a supercar or something like that. So I'll give hens like a 24 out of 25 because they're that cool. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rate them a scale of 1 to 25 for taming, which I'm going to give them like a solid, I'll give them a 22, because it could be difficult, but for the most part it's fairly easy. And for overall, I'm just going to give them like I'll give them a 23. So their total score for chickens, like just chickens in general, is 88 out of 100. This is very similar to like the ranking chickens, but it's not really. So 88 out of 100. Sounds pretty nice, not gonna lie.